Hello everybody, and welcome to the Total Combatives Nunchuck course. You may have seen my first video in which I did this really cool combination. It was titled Nunchuck Hand Roll Drill. And a lot of people asked why exactly I made that, and a lot of people also requested that I go and I teach from the very beginning fundamentals of nunchucks. That way they can learn to do that cool move and stuff. So that's what I'm going to do. This lesson is number 1 in the nunchuck course. So if you're interested in learning nunchucks and you have a pair, now's the time to grab them. If you're not interested in nunchucks, go watch a couple of nunchuck videos where you see these awesome martial artists swinging them around, and you'll probably be interested at the end of that. And then you can come back here and I'll teach you from ground zero and how to get to that point. So anyways, I made that first video, and it was more geared towards my peers and some friends of mine that are kind of struggling with their hand rolls. So I created a drill to kind of help them improve those. And that's what my video addressed. It wasn't really meant for beginners, but hopefully I'll get you up to that point where you can do that drill, learn those techniques pretty soon. So without any further ado, let's begin with the nunchuck lesson. The first thing I want to talk to you about is how to grip the nunchucks. You want to make sure that your fingers and thumb are wrapped completely around the nunchucks. You don't want your thumb to be in line with the nunchuck, kind of like that, if you can see that. What'll happen if you do that is you're more than likely, especially as a beginner, to hit that thumb with the other nunchuck, and it's not going to feel too good. Yeah, in fact, you're probably going to drop them. It's going to hurt so bad. So you want to protect that thumb by having it wrapped around the nunchuck and not on top of it. So anyways, now as to where you grip the nunchuck, there are 3 grips. There's the low grip, which is more towards the bottom of the nunchuck if you have the chain at the top, and that's great for added power and length, but it's really hard to do different tricks. In fact, if I try to do a hand roll, it's impossible to do it from that position. And then there's the middle grip, in which case your hand is going to be in the middle of the nunchuck, and this is a pretty good grip for beginners. You've got a lot of control over the nunchucks this way. So I do recommend that you try that. In fact, try all 3 of the grips I'm teaching you, and everybody has their favorite. I know some people, they like the middle grip, they try to do everything from that grip. And then others are kind of like me, I favor what's called the high grip. And that's going to be where your hand is, past the middle point, a lot higher towards the top. And I like it. I think it makes the nunchucks move more fluidly and faster, and you don't have to change hand positions to do hand rolls and stuff. So experiment with all 3 of those, practice all your techniques with all 3 of those. That way you can kind of have an idea of how they're working. So those are the 3 grips, the 3 grip lengths of the nunchucks. Like I said, with the low grip, you've got a lot more length when you hold it at the bottom of the nunchuck, and that length diminishes the higher you get up on the nunchuck. So the higher you are, the more fluid it is, but you don't have as much reach as you do with the long grip or the low grip. And it also doesn't have as much power. So now I'm going to teach you your 3 nunchuck positions to start with. The first one is going to be our ready position. It's usually used either at the beginning of class when you have your nunchucks folded in one hand. You bow into the class in traditional karate or taekwondo, and then your sensei will tell you to get into your ready position, and all the students snap to attention, holding both nunchucks like that. This is going to be your ready grip. It can be a middle grip, it can be a high grip. I don't recommend you doing this one in a low grip. It just doesn't feel right. and it looks unnatural as well. But do this from either a middle grip or a high grip. So that is going to be your ready grip. So you can kind of drill that by just having the nunchucks closed, snapping out, closing them, snapping them out, closing them. It's not really something I'd suggest you use a lot of your time training on. You're really only going to use it if you take traditional classes at the beginning of a class, and later on when you're doing a kata, you might end, and after doing a series of cool moves, snap it out and yeah! And it just kind of looks cool when you end a kata that way. So that is going to be your first and most basic nunchuck position. The second one is going to be over the shoulder. Now over the shoulder, you can get there by just taking your nunchuck and just kind of keeping it in line with your body and tossing it backwards next to your head. But you're going to want to catch that with this hand. A good way to get to that position is, as you do it, when you get to about this height right here, go ahead and find the back of your bicep like that. Put your hand there, and the nunchuck should just kind of come there into the hand. As soon as it touches your hand, just close your fingers. So that's going to be over the shoulder position. You don't really want it to be out here. You're gonna want to keep it kind of tight, like that. That's the over the shoulder position. Then the third and last position is going to be the under the arm position. To get there from the over the shoulder position, basically just swing the nunchuck forward. Don't do it too hard, just keep it fluid, and you catch it in your arm like that. So from there to there. Now, it's important that you drill in between these, because you're going to go back and forth in between these two positions probably more than you will any other technique when learning nunchucks. So, over the shoulder, under the arm, over the shoulder, under the arm. You're going to want to do that with both hands. Over the shoulder, under the arm, over the shoulder, under the arm. It is very important when you're learning nunchucks that you train each hands pretty much equally, sometimes even doing your non-dominant hand more, because in nunchucks you're going to be changing hands a lot, and it'll be cool to kind of watch your improvement and see your mastery over your non-dominant hand when you're able to do a technique really smoothly that when you first tried, because it was your non-dominant hand, you're all hitting yourself in the head or the kneecap, and it looks like a dying fish than it does something kind of smooth and cool. So you're going to want to train everything equally on both sides. So those are your three positions. You got your ready position, your over the shoulder, under the arm. Now that you know your 3 nunchuck grips and your 3 nunchuck positions, now it's time to learn how to swap between those 2 positions. I already showed you once that in order to get from the under the arm position to over the shoulder position is just to go up, to go down, up, to go down. Now, how do you get from this position or this position, how do you get it to the other arm? And that's simple. Whenever you're in the over the shoulder position, that hand that has the nunchucks on the bottom is going to drop down and up. So again, that's going to just drop it down and up. Work on not being robotic. Down, up, up. Maybe start that way, but you really want to work towards having it one fluid movement. Down, up. Almost like you're making a little bit of a arc. And catching it like that. You won't really go from this position to that position really. There isn't really a good way to do that. So just work on this. Down, up, front switch, down, up, front switch, and keep on training it that way. Just, you know, sit there maybe while you're watching a movie or somebody's reading a book out loud or something. Just sit there, and you can sit in the corner and just change your nunchuck positions. Here's a follow-along drill that'll help you improve swapping between your nunchuck positions. So if you want to just mirror me, I'll start with my left hand, so you can start with your right, and just follow after me as I swap positions. And then after you've done it with me a couple of times, you can probably just do it on your own. So anyways, let's begin in the over the shoulder position. From there, let's go under the arm, over the shoulder, under the arm, over the shoulder. Now let's do a front switch, under the arm, over the shoulder, under the arm, over the shoulder, front switch, under the arm, over the shoulder, under the arm, over the shoulder, front switch, under the arm, over the shoulder, front switch, front switch, front switch, front switch. Those front switches are important too, so you can pretty much just spend a lot of time just working on those front switches like this here, trying to do it faster and faster and faster. You're gonna start out slow, but as you build confidence, you can challenge yourself by speeding it up a little bit. Even I can still challenge myself and see how fast I can go without dropping it. So anyways, train out those positions, practice swapping between them and switching. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, please leave me a thumbs up, subscribe, and if you're using the app, hit the bell icon. It'll notify you every time I upload a new lesson. So until next time, train hard.